Hello, the story I'm going to read you today is called Drop by Drop, and it's written by a group of people called the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops and illustrated by Carrie Gorin. So a lot of people got together to write this book. My teacher, Sister Mary Jerome, has a nephew named Mike. He works for Catholic Relief Services in West Africa. He has been living in a small country called Burkina Faso. He visited our class to tell us about his experiences. Mike started by asking us to name the chores we do to help our families. We told him, and Mike made a list. So this is the country of Burkina Faso. And this is Mike. He works for a group that helps people. Mike showed us a picture of a girl carrying a big jug of water on her head. "This is my friend Sylvie," said Mike. "She's about your age. Girls like Sylvie have an important job. Every day they collect the water their family needs. I'm going to tell you about Sylvie and the water project that made her dreams come true." So look, some of their jobs are walk the dog, take out the trash, rake leaves, set the table, clean up the room. This is Sylvie. Her job is to get the water for her family. Most people can get a lot of water out of just their faucet in their sink. What about you? Do you have a sink and can you just turn on the water whenever you need it? Some people have to travel and have to walk to get water from wells or streams or rivers, and it's a hard job. This is Sylvie's story. Sylvie woke up early and stretched. She could tell it would be a hot day. She imagined the wind blowing across the Sahara Desert to her little village in Burkina Faso. She wanted to stay in the cool, dark house, but she needed to get going. Sylvie called her older sister Flora. "Come and eat." "Hurry up," said her oldest sister Marie. "We won't wait for you if you are late." Breakfast was ready. They all sat down to eat before they went to work. Papa and Sylvie's older brother Jean had to go to the fields. Mama had to gather wood and tend the fire. Grandmother had to watch the baby, and Sylvie's younger brother Felix had to go to school. They all have a job to do. Sylvie wanted to go to school with Felix, but she had to go with her sisters instead. Sylvie had to help fetch the family's water. Sylvie put on her flip-flops. She picked up her empty jug and followed her sisters up the path. The river was a 3-mile walk from the village. So she wants to go to school, but her family needs her to get water, because you have to have water to live. You have to drink it and cook with it and clean with it. Sylvie trudged up the path, counting her steps. Sometimes she counted by 2s. Sometimes she counted by 10s. As the sun rose higher, Sylvie imagined sitting in the schoolroom beside Felix. Thinking about letters, words, numbers, and sums helped her pass the time. It takes a long time to walk for 3 miles, and she's little. Look, her sisters are bigger. So she tries to think about what she does know instead. At the river, Sylvie splashed and played with Flora and Marie. The water felt good on her hot feet. She rested on a big rock in the shade. Then she filled her water jug. She lifted it up high and set it on her head and began the slow walk home. So they get to rest and play, and then they have to fill up their water jugs. The sun was low in the sky when Sylvie got back to the village. Felix ran out to meet her. He took the water jug from her. "Sylvie, come see," he said. "Mr. Mike has a surprise for you." Sylvie rubbed her stiff neck. "What are you talking about?" she said. So look, the sun is almost setting. It took her the whole day to walk to the river and back. What do you think the surprise from Mr. Mike is? Then Sylvie saw it parked beside her home. It was a small cart that held 4 big plastic jugs. "The cart will help you carry water from the river," said Felix. "No more jugs to lug." Sylvie touched the cart handle. She smiled. The cart would make the trip much faster. Could she get back from the river in time to go to school? Had to try. So instead of the 3 girls carrying the jugs on their head, they can pull this cart. That will help their bodies and their necks not to hurt. The next morning, the girls headed out of the village. Sylvie pulled the water cart. Felix trotted along beside her as far as the school. "Hurry back," he said. "I'll save you a seat." Do you think she'll make it in time to go to school? Sylvie waved to Jean in the fields. Jean pointed and teased. "Look at that little donkey pulling her cart," he said. Sylvie grinned. "Hee-haw," she said. She hopped and kicked. She felt happy as the cart bumped behind her on the path. At the river, Sylvie worked fast. Flora and Marie splashed while Sylvie filled each jug. They played while Sylvie loaded the jugs onto the cart. They sat on the shady rock while Sylvie tugged the cart to get going. "Goodbye, little donkey," they called, and Sylvie started up the path alone. Look, her big sisters are resting, but she's so excited she has to get back. But do you think it will be easy for her to pull the jugs that are full of water all by herself? The heavy cart dipped and tipped. It got stuck in the ruts and the holes of the path. If it hit a big rock, it stopped short. Sylvie was going very slowly along the path when Flora and Marie caught up with her. "Please help me," said Sylvie. "You push when I pull. We can go faster." "What's the big rush?" said Marie. "It's too hot to go fast." But Sylvie kept going. Why does she want to go so fast? "I need some water," said Flora. "Let me get a quick drink." Sylvie kept going. Marie giggled. "Hey, little donkey, stop, we're thirsty." The cart bucked into a rut, and Sylvie pulled hard to keep going. "The little donkey wants to go," said Flora, and Marie giggled again. Oh, how is Sylvie feeling? Sylvie stopped and stamped her foot. "Little donkey wants to read and write," she said. "I need to go faster. I need to get back to the village before school is over." Flora and Marie quit teasing. They knew Sylvie was serious. "Let's go," they said. Marie helped push and Flora helped steer. Sylvie pulled the cart over the path. They got back to the village in no time at all, but they were still too late. When the girls passed the school, it was empty. So it didn't take her as long, but she still didn't have enough time for school. "You got home so fast," said Mama. "You can help me tend the fire." "You got home so fast," said Grandmother. "You can help me take care of the baby." "You got home so fast," said Felix. "You can help me in the garden. I'll tell you what I learned today." So look, Mama's working at cooking, and it looks like Grandma's maybe cleaning. Look, Sylvie with the baby, and Felix in the garden. Sylvie followed Felix to the garden. She felt tired and sad. The water cart gave her time for more jobs, but it didn't give her enough time for school. "You should feel proud of your job," said Felix. "You help all of us. We cannot live without water. Today my teacher said that a 7-year-old boy like me needs to drink almost 2 liters of clean, fresh water each day to stay healthy. We depend on the work you do, Sylvie." And look, they need water to water the plants and to cook and to clean. 2 liters is like if you've ever seen a real big pop bottle, that's 2 liters. You should have that much water every day. And some of the water is in the food that you eat, and some of it is in the things that you drink. "I know," said Sylvie. "I do feel proud. I just wish that I could go to school too." Sylvie knew in her heart that reading and writing were important. What if she could grow up to be a doctor or a teacher? Then she could help her family and a lot of other people too. What's your dreams of being a doctor or a teacher? What do you want to be when you get older? Felix felt very bad for Sylvie, so he tried to cheer her up. "Do you want to hear today's fun fact?" Sylvie nodded. "There are 20,000 drops of water in a liter," said Felix. "And that is how many steps I must take with my little legs to get to the river and back," said Sylvie. "That is 1 step for every drop." That's a lot of steps. A few weeks later, Jean came home with news. He had been to the marketplace in a nearby village. That village had a well. A pipe comes out of a deep hole in the ground, said John. The pipe is in the middle of the village, and the families can get as much water as they need. Flora and Marie burst out laughing. You are joking, said Flora. Water out of a pipe? Don't tease. So that village has a well, and they can just get the water right near their house whenever they need it. He's not teasing, said Felix. We learned about wells in school. There can be huge lakes and rivers right under our feet. So that's right. See how this tree has roots? The roots reach down to the water that's in the ground. And if you drill a very deep well, you can get to that water. The sisters laughed even harder, but Sylvie felt excited. Can our village get a well? She asked. That is the best part, said Jean. I spoke with Mr. Mike. He says our village has been chosen for a water project, and the work will begin very soon. Sylvie could hardly wait. Every day she pulled the cart around the final bend in the path. She hoped she'd see the well-building crew, and every night she prayed for the crew to come. What will happen if she gets a well in her village? What do you think? Finally, it happened. One day, Sylvie and her sisters came home to find a crew with a big, tall machine set up near the village. It was a drilling rig, and it was used to dig a deep, deep hole. The special machine digs a very deep hole. All the families in the village gathered at the well site. Jean and Mr. Mike helped the crew set everything in place. Then they moved aside and asked Sylvie to step forward. Sylvie smiled. She wrapped her hand around the pump handle. It felt like the handle of the water cart. She thought of all the steps she had taken to bring water to her family, drop by drop. Then she pumped the handle up and down, and clean, fresh water flowed out of the pipe. So if you pump that handle, you go up and down, water will rise up in the pipe. And look! Everyone was so happy. They get that water right away just by pumping. But no one was happier than Sylvie, who finally got to go to school. Because now she doesn't have to walk to the river. When Mr. Mike finished that story, I started thinking. Everyone needs water. People can't do anything without it. Water makes things happen. I asked Sister Mary Jerome to help me do some research. What could we do to support a water project? I found out that it costs about $10,000 to build a well. That's a lot of money. No wonder people like Sylvie have to wait. So there he is with his teacher. He's trying to think of how can he help people get a well. $10,000 is a lot of money. It would take a long time to earn that. Sometimes it takes people almost a whole year of work to get that. Every morning we pray for Sylvie and her family. Thinking about her story gave me an idea. Now my class is raising money to help another village pay for a well. We made fancy plastic pins in the shape of water drops for people to wear. We are selling them at the art fair and at the farmer's market. It's a fun way to earn money to send to Catholic Relief Services while we tell people about the importance of clean water. My friends and I are happy we can make a difference for girls like Sylvie, drop by drop. So look, they're selling money, and they're selling pins to get money so they can help another family get water. And in the back, there's some facts. It says, in the whole world, about 1 in 9 people do not have clean, safe water. So if you have nice, clean water that you can get whenever you want, you can be very thankful. And you can help other people by donating money or helping to clean up trash that makes our water dirty. Everybody needs clean water. I hope you liked that story about Sylvie and about the boy who wants to help other girls like her go to school. I'll read you later. Bye.